My guest is Kola Bokinni. He plays Issac McAdoo, the captain of AFC Richmond on the hit TV show TED Lasso. Season 3 is now available on Apple TV Plus. Ted Lasso has won 11 Emmy Awards in 2 seasons. Kola, thanks so much for joining me on Sports Business Radio. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
All
It's a
right.
pleasure.
Let's start with the backstory for how you were cast for this show. Like, you're a footballer, you've got experience. How were you cast for Ted Lasso?
Basically, my friend, who's also an actor, Will, has a relationship with Jason. And I think they were over here casting. And he said, "Oh yeah, you should audition for it." And we were at the same agency, so he told my agent at the time, and then kind of hooked up the audition that way. And then when I went to the audition, we had like a little audition. I actually auditioned for Danny Rojas.
So you could have been the one saying football is life, right?
It was a different character then. I think it was like Danny Rojas was kind of more of a Jamie Tartt.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. And then did that, and then they came back, said they wanted to change the characters around a bit. And then I auditioned for Issac, and then I had to send the football tape.
Okay.
Which wasn't too hard because I've been playing football for a while.
So they wanted to know that you had some football experience as well as acting experience.
Of course, yes.
Interesting. All right, so I've had Brendan Hunt and Jeremy Swift on this show before, and they've talked about how close the cast is on and off set. Is there a moment that stands out to you over the last couple of years with this cast and crew, on or off set, that really stands out to you?
Yeah. I speak about it most of the time. Yes, the moments like at the end, it was like we call it the Hell Week. Basically, it was at the end of season 1 where we had like really good weather for like predominantly the whole shoot, and then like at the end of the shoot, they left all the football to do, but they didn't realize how cold it was in London in November. So, and plus it was night shoots, so it was like below zero.
Oh, wow.
Freezing. And we had to like do it in shorts and t-shirt, but then everyone rallied, and it was the last day, and then when they called like cut for the last time, and then that's a wrap, everybody just went crazy, and had been through a lot. But I think that kind of like that, going through that process with my castmates and crew, made us all like a lot closer, and that's
right.
That was before anyone knew anything about what the show was going to be or any success.
Yeah, I mean, what do you hear from fans? This show addresses mental health and anxiety and so many real life issues. I imagine that you're hearing from fans how relatable it is.
Yeah, of course. I get hit up sometimes. I do my best to see all of them because it's like affected. The show's affected so many. That the show got them through one of the darkest periods of their life, with the pandemic, and the subjects that the show hits upon, and the taboo subjects that certain as a society we don't necessarily talk about, like men's health, mental health, or like anxiety, panic attacks, going seeking help through therapy, stuff like that. So I get messages and saying that like how much this helped them, being able to talk to their friends, or being able to deal with it themselves, which is amazing.
Yeah, it really has had quite an impact on so many people. I'm interested in your character. How soon do they come to you with the storylines and, all right, this is what you're going to be doing, whether it's we're going to be playing some football or it's just, something in the changing room? How early do you get your lines and kind of the storylines in advance?
The basic, outline of what I'm going to do, get that, pretty early, but things, change. There's always, as you say, moving the goalposts There's always, um, I mean, they don't, Jason, the way they do it, they don't like us to lean onto one narrative, all the time, and there'll be certain things that they might see or you might say that might change their mind in certain situations, or certain storylines. So it's always changing, always evolving, and always actually just getting better, to be honest. Even when you think, oh man, we got something really great here, they might come up with something and then you'd be like, wow, okay, that was really good. And then that will be the final product.
Yeah. Is there any improv, or is it pretty strict to the stript?
Oh no, it's a lot of improv. There's a lot of improv. When it comes to on set, like they're always encouraging us to lean on our improv or just try things out, quite free. It's not a very strict set. No, it's a lot of improv. Yeah.
I want to talk to you about a few specific scenes over the last couple of years. One, in season 2, when you guys are learning the dance from NSYNC, that looked like that was a lot of fun. And I'm wondering, like, how many takes did it get? And then I saw the celebration after you guys kind of nailed the dance, like you're jumping on people's shoulders and you guys were celebrating like you just won Premier League.
Because the team took it very seriously, and it's just so funny, like choreography, like dancing and all that. I never really done that before, and it's really difficult. And like dance teachers, they're very strict. They're very strict, but we did our best, and it took a while. Some were better than others, Shout out to Phil Dunster. He was really good. But really, like,
he was the leader of the dance crew. So you guys like literally had a choreographer come in and work with you on that?
Yeah. We had to rehearse and rehearse again, and then rehearse again and again and again, just to, like, when we was on set, like we knew all the steps, and because it was such a well-known dance, from NSYNC, like everybody's gonna be like looking at us to be like, oh, I did given it truth, to it. We had to like put some sauce on it, as the dance choreographer said.
Yeah, put some sauce on it. All right, the other scene that I loved in one of my favorite episodes, season 2, episode 5, Rainbow, where you're getting your mojo back and you go to the inner city with Roy Kent and you just play pickup and you're playing for the fun of it, the love of the game. Tell me a little bit about that scene and that storyline. How did that come about?
It was great. It was like basically, it's funny enough that because I actually play football there even when I'm not filming, so I'm actually very familiar with that pitch. I mean, it was the season was based around the yips, what professional athletes get sometimes, where they genuinely can't do what they're paid to do, because it's like a mental block, and it can stop you from being performed to the high level that you can, and athletes get it all the time. So in order, even in acting, think of it this way, even in acting, sometimes you can forget why you got into it. In anything, really. Choose these things that you're really interested in, be it law, be it any sort of profession, medicine, anything. And then, you get on along with your career goes further and further and further, and then you might start like not liking it for any sort of reason, and you've lost sight of why you've done it in the first place. And that's what happened to Isaac. Isaac lost love for the game, and Roy brought it upon himself, to show him you were a kid before that did this for free. And of course, like with the pressure of just being a new captain and stepping into someone like Roy Kent's in his place, it's a lot of pressure to put yourself under and be under, and it's just glad that he was able to breathe and just like take it all in his stride.
Yeah. Now, I love the scene. And, I think that's really cool that, like, you've played there on that pitch just even before this scene was filmed. Like, that's a familiar pitch to you.
It is very familiar. I play there with a bunch of my actor friends, like, whenever I can, but always on a Friday. Yeah.
That's really cool. So a scene like that, is there someone choreographing the soccer activity, or is that just kind of you guys going, hey, let's just ad lib on this and improv?
There is a football block, as they call it, director. His name's Pedro. And also there's a guy, one of the ADs, Dan, that has like a lot of football knowledge. When it comes to like the skills and that was kind of like Pedro. Like, he was like, yeah, I want this to happen, this time. But also he was like, he knew my football past. He was like, yeah, you know what you're doing. I'm just going to give you a stencil, an outline of, how I want it to play out. But if you want to add certain other things, then by all means, do it. But it was a lot of fun.
So did you add the part where you let it go between your legs and you let the pass go through and then the person scores and you guys are celebrating?
Basically, that was a combined effort. And by the way, shout out to Emmy Aluko, who is a former England #1. She scored the goal, and she's a former professional who's now a pundit. And that was brilliant, to have her in there, and she's great. Pedro told me that he wants to score a brilliant goal, and for me it's called a dummy, where you go to, like, you're gonna shoot it, but you let it eggs. But the whole boot shining thing, that's a very famous celebration in football or soccer. And I just added that in there, and they were like, we really like that. Can we do it? But it was a bit painful because she was wearing studs and it was not mangy. Yeah. So I was like, can this be the last one?
I love hearing the backstory for that scene. It's really cool. So your storylines have gotten bigger and bigger as the seasons have gone on. I mean, we've seen you not only as the captain getting the armband, and I love, you destroy a TV, you stick your hand on the believe sign and kind of inspire your teammates before you go out on the pitch. But we've seen you be the team barber, and we've seen you dress in a Santa Claus suit. Like, how has it been seeing your character progress over the 3 seasons?
It's been amazing. You just naming some of them things, I'm like, oh, wow, yeah. Some of the things you could forget, and it's great. The reactions have been, amazing. And I said this before, like, I had no idea that, any of this would happen or the show would have been like this. So just taking it, all in and trying to digest it as well as possible. But it's so much fun. There's so much fun and such good times, and I'm really thankful and grateful that I'm able to entertain people, because you never know when you're doing these things. You never know how the reception is going to be, And then for people to come up to me or message me, or whether it's on social media or in person, and tell me that they loved it, it's flattering. I'm flattered.
What's interesting is I came over to London late last year, and I interviewed like some real life soccer executives and team owners, and they talked about the impact of the show, like on their team, on the footballers, on the fans, and the interest in football. And I don't know too many shows that have had that kind of impact on the actual athletes themselves, the owners, the coaches. Everyone watches it. Like, it's really remarkable.
It's unbelievable, actually. Me as well. Like, I'm quite, flabbergasted when you get like professional legends in the game, quoting TED LASSO, our little show, like, and I think you know, one of the reasons is because they can relate. And it's also like one of the truest ways of showing a team structure and what happens in and out of running this club. And also, like, there hasn't been, you know, like a soccer or a football show like this one. Like, I mean, there's been attempts,
Right.
but I don't think it's been like any of them that have done it the way that Ted Lasso has done it. And, you know, they're just all just so grateful to be like, you know, we're human, you know, we're human beings, and sometimes it can get misconstrued, and you know, you can lose sight of the fact that these are human beings that deal with issues in their own life. And, you know, I think, you know, I'm just, you know, in shock when, you know, they're telling me how grateful they are, and I'm like, well, I've just idolized you my whole life. It's just amazing to see and witness.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen some of the cast, including yourself, go to other sporting events, whether it's World Cup or the Miami Dolphins game when it came to, and like, it must be amazing with the athletes, the players on those teams are like, oh, I watched Ted Lasso and I love your character.
Yeah, yeah. You never, I never quite get. I don't think I ever will get used to it. You know, these guys do it for real. You know, they do it for real. You know, we're just trying to emulate that. You know, and pay homage to that. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, what did I have? I had Harry Kane walk up to me and tell me that tell Harry Kane walk up to me and be like, "Oh, captain to captain," and I'm like, "You're the captain of England." You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a difference here in real life. You know, like, you know, but that's just the thing about, you know, this world. You know, crazy things can happen like that. You know, and it has. You know, and I'm just happy that I'm able to tell it.
All right, let's talk about a few things for season 3. So I'm based in Oregon, home of Nike World Headquarters. I love the new AFC Richmond kits from Nike. I mean, how are those fitting for you? How do you like them?
You know,
I mean, they're selling like hotcakes right now too.
I mean, like, yeah, when I first saw it, I was like, fantastic. You know, we had the kit before, but these ones are something else. My favorite keeps changing, like, you know, because it's like, my favorite was the away kit, the orange one, and now it's the home kit. You know, because, you know, Nike has put that gloss on it, you know, and it was just so surreal to have Nike as the sponsor of, you know, a club that is fictional, yeah, set in, you know, Apple TV Plus's universe of, you know, Ted Lasso, and a club called AFC Richmond, and now people are going to be wearing the AFC Richmond jerseys in real life, like, you know, like there's actually a team, you know. It's all just very surreal and all crazy and, you know, all wonderful and so great. Like, I love, like, the imagination of it. I love the imagination of it. It's what it's all about, really.
Now, I know you're a gamer, so when you saw yourself in FIFA from EA Sports, you must have just been losing your mind. I mean, what's that like to see yourself as Issac McAdoo, the captain of AFC Richmond, with Ted Lasso in video game?
You know what's funny about that is that we joked about it a few times. When we were filming season 1, or not necessarily season 1, because we had no idea in season 1 what the show was going to be like.
Okay.
In 2, you know, when we had, you know, the initial, like, buzz and reception and success towards the show, we'd you know, joke and be like, we've been playing. All of us used to play FIFA online. You know, me, Jason, Brendan, Christo, Sahib, Brett, everyone used to play, you know, on the pro clubs. And then we'd joke and be like, imagine that one day, like, we're actually on FIFA, like, you know. And now people could say it was a manifestation, but I disagree. You know, that was us just literally joking, being like, never, that would never happen. Like someone be like, imagine we're on FIFA one day, and then it would just be like a pause, and then we would go, nah, what are you talking about, man? That was, people, we're made up, you know what I'm saying? And then we got the call for it, and it all happened so quickly. And then before you know it, it's September, and they're like, boom, there's Richmond. And then you see me, and it's like uncanning the what? I was like, how the hell did you create my face like that? That's literally what I look like, you know?
Yeah.
And right now, I'm still digesting it. I don't even know what to say when people tell me, oh, what's it like to be on FIFA? I've been playing it since 1999. I've been playing it since, you know, Ian Wright was, you know, who's in the show. You know, I've been playing it since he was up front for Arsenal. You know, I've been playing it for so long on PlayStation 1, you know, and now, you know, I'm immortalized in it, but it's wonderful.
Is Arsenal your team?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. It's funny, when I was over there, I went to Brentford Arsenal, and I look across the stadium to the Arsenal section, and who's sitting there watching the game but Jason and Brendan.
Yeah,
I mean, and they put them on the screen, and they're like, you know, Jason and Brendan, Ted Lasso, and I was like, how cool is this? Like, we're at a real Premier League match.
Yeah.
It was like one of the first matches after the Queen died.
Okay.
And, you know, they're putting them on the big screen, and I'm like, you know, what other Premier League match would you go to where you would see the stars of Ted Lasso, like, on the screen at the match, and everyone's giving him a huge round of applause? And I mean, it was a really funny moment.
Brendan's a massive gooner as well.
Yeah.
And when he's filming, he's at like pretty much every game.
Wow.
Yeah. And he just loves it, you know. And I love the fact that he loves my team, you know. And I love the fact that you went and watched my team. It's great. You know what I mean? Yeah, amazing.
I'll tell you this: I had never been to Premier League in person. It was unlike anything I've ever seen. Like, the best way I can describe it is Arsenal. It's like a symphony of soccer. Like, everyone is in sync. It's just next level. When you see something like that, you know it's different, and the way they play was phenomenal.
Yeah, you know, on television it can be lost, you know, but you don't realize how fast it is.
Yeah.
When you watch it live, it's like, you know what's wrong? You know, and on the screen, because it's so like such a wide shot, it can look a little bit slower. But when you're actually on the field, it's like a split-second decision, you know, or you could just lose the ball and cost your team the game.
Right. Just a couple more minutes. I know I need to let you go. I was in Richmond, and I went to like a lot of the locations. I went to the pub. I went to, you know, where all the, you know.
Did you see the shrine? Did you see the inside the pub? See the Richmond shrine?
I did. I took a picture in front of it.
Oh, sweet.
And I even talked to the people in the pub, and they're like, oh, the cast is so nice, and they come in here. And, you know, Brendan told me when he was on that there's a replica pub, and you shoot in the replica pub, but then after you're done shooting, you go to the real pub, and you'll have some fish and chips and a pint.
Yeah, of course. You know, they are so nice there. And plus, I think they're like, I saw on Twitter, I think they're making it into an Airbnb now.
They are. Yeah. For one night in October, they're making it into an Airbnb.
What?
I know.
It's going crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Richmond is a lovely, lovely town. You know, it's got beautiful, beautiful parks, beautiful food, beautiful. You know, I'm just promoting Richmond here.
If you were going to go to one place in Richmond, like, I know Prince's Head is the name of the pub.
Prince's Head is the name of the pub, yeah.
Is there any other place in Richmond that you're like, hey, go get a cup of coffee or go have a pint or?
Oh yeah, there's a bunch of restaurants where the Thames, where you see the river.
Yeah.
And it's really beautiful. Like, it's a lovely. You can ride a bike there. You can rent one of the boats there. You can also take a lovely walk. You know, it's lovely right about sunset time. There's a nice Italian restaurant. The name, you know, I can't remember the name of it, but because I think we filmed a bit of season 3 there. But yeah, it's like some steps, and then there's like a bridge, and then you can just stand on a bridge and you can watch the sunset, or you can grab some Italian food, which is amazing. So many attractions in Richmond. Beautiful place. If anyone ever visits London, that's one of the places that you should visit.
I absolutely agree. All right, last question. I know you can't give out any spoilers, but what should fans expect overall of season 3 of Ted Lasso? Are we going to see more Issac McAdoo, more character development?
Of course. I mean, you're gonna see from Isaac's perspective, from Isaac's perspective, you're gonna see him still trying to navigate being a leader, still making mistakes and learning from them, which is obviously the Ted Lasso way. Still, you're gonna see the team, trying their best, and hopefully you're gonna see more of the same, because when you're making a show that garnered the success that it has, there's a little bit of pressure there to replicate that. And some shows in the past that after did 2 seasons of brilliant work, and then 3rd season not so much. So I have a quiet confidence that everyone's gonna love this one. Yeah.
AFC Richmond seems to be the world's team. Everyone universally loves AFC Richmond. Kola, congratulations on just amazing work that you and your castmates have done. Like I said, 11 Emmy Awards in only 2 seasons. I think it's impacted so many people's lives. I know it's impacted my life. You're doing just great work. So good luck with season 3. I know you've already got it in the can, but I know you'll be doing interviews like this and promoting it. Thank you so much for joining us on Sports Business Radio.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you.